All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Exodus Logistics LLC Dispatcher Training, Dispatcher 101 for beginners. Tonight we'll talk a little bit about the carrier packet and the rate confirmations that you receive from brokers when you book loads for your carriers. I'm still working out the kinks of getting a new Internet Truck Stop login, so we'll deal with 123 Load Board and that Trucker's Edge. Type yes if you can hear me. Let me do a roll call real quick just to make sure. I see Z is trying to unmute himself. He's unmuted on my end, and then Felicia Shaw. Z.
Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, it was on me. I had to click the phone button to turn the mic and speaker on, Charles. My bad.
That's okay. And then also Felicia as well. I think she's trying to do the same thing maybe. Let me see if Felicia can unmute herself. I'm typing. Can you unmute yourself or click your mic phone icon? Okay, so tonight we can cover a little bit. I want to keep it kind of short because I need to get some rest because I'm driving to Ohio, 10-hour drive, so we can spread my mom's ashes over my grandparents' grave. So, but we were discussing last week. We were going to go into a little bit of detail about the carrier packets and the rate confirmations, the documents. Now, where are you in your journey as a dispatcher, Z? Are you just starting? You're starting to call carriers and things like that?
I haven't started calling the carriers just yet. I'm still putting the pieces together, and you're filling in a lot of the holes that I have. I'm working with a guy, a friend of mine, who's kind of showing me the ropes a little bit.
You working with who?
A friend of mine who just started maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. And so
okay.
I'm kind of learning from him different things or the dispatching piece of it. So, you know, I'm still learning basically.
Now, where are you based? What city and state are you based out of?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, okay. So you're in a freight-heavy location.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now you are looking to get into just the 3 major equipment types, or you want to try to go for other stuff too, like box trucks and things like that, or just the dry vans, flatbeds, and reefers?
Well, your training is showing me the other side of it, but my friend is doing strictly like hot shots.
Ah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So I'm kind of learning kind of both sides in a little bit.
I'll say this, that's a challenge, hot shots, because you're dealing with dually pickup trucks attached to a up to 40-foot trailer, well 35-foot with the 5-foot dovetail rims. So, and I'm not sure if he has access to a load board called hot shot carriers. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what load boards he has.
DAT.
Okay, so he's using DAT. So there is a hot shot load board, hot shots. You can use it on hot shot carrier. Here it is, hot shot carriers. So this load board right here is specifically for hot shots. It's like $14.95 a month, and you can look it up in your specific area for the carriers. Like for example, loads, visitors. Let's go visitors view loads. So we can view loads right here. Good evening, Allison. Allison just joined the meeting. So you can view loads. you are, okay, so here's origin and then destination. So something coming out of the, so it's, I think it's in alphabetical order from origin of the state. So California, let's scroll down to Georgia, right here, Atlanta. Here's a hot shot right here, 10,000 pound, hot shot, 40-foot Atlanta, going to Byron, Georgia, and there's no set amount, so you would have to call and bid on that one. But this is just an idea, and that's only 96 miles. So if you go back to that again, Atlanta to Byron, 96 miles.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hot shot. Here's another one in the Georgia area. I don't know how far Pooler, Georgia, or Macon, Georgia is from Atlanta, or Coolidge, or Flowery Branch, Valdosta, Blairsville. Yeah, I don't know how far your friend is willing to travel to go pick up a load like Deadhead.
Right. Right. 200 miles.
Okay. So here's a load board specifically for hot shot carriers.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if he's, matter of fact, let me copy this and put this into the chat area for you, and you can send that link to your friend, and he can consider looking at that. But there you go, right there, hot shots. Now he's looking at DAT. So if he looks at DAT, let's go to DAT Trucker's Edge and see what he sees on DAT, because what is his he does the 40-foot dovetail with the dually pickup. So he must have a hot shot. He must have a hot shot. He has a hot shot carrier under him already.
Yeah, he has a couple of them, like a 36-foot, I think, or 28 or 35 or something like that, and a 40.
And he's based in Georgia?
Based in Georgia. And I think that you call it, what, LTL or?
Yeah, LTL, or you can either say LTL or you can say partials. So if he's looking at DAT, if he has DAT Trucker's Edge, I don't know what version of DAT he has, maybe DAT Pro or DAT Power. DAT Trucker's Edge is the carrier level version, so that's what we're looking at now. So we'll say the state of Georgia, not just Atlanta, but the whole state, right?
Uh-huh.
So we'll put that there. And then destination, we'll say anywhere within now by default, in here, the deadhead is 150 miles. So that's fine. You said 200, so 150, that's fine. You can change that, of course. You can edit that and put, once you get into it. Now here, it says general, but we want to go specific because we want to go to a hot shot, not just a flatbed category. Hot shots are in the flatbed category, but they are like partials, LTL.
Yeah.
So we're gonna select specific, and then in the specific drop down, we're gonna say flatbed hot shot right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do that.
Okay.
And now you can EFGH. Yeah, that's it. So we'll say flatbed hot shots. I would say van hot shots, but that's like a box truck, so we want to consider that. So now we'll say the length, we'll say 40 feet, even though your friend has 36, we'll say 40 feet. And what's the weight that he can haul on there, like 10,000 pounds, or what's his weight?
I think he said 12,000, if I'm not mistaken. It's right,
Okay.
It's the pound is below requirements for a CDL. So
Okay,
I
so that's
12.
So let's meet halfway. Let's say 11. You say 12, I say 10, I say 11.
Okay.
So now we say instead of full, we'll say partial. Because LTLs and partials are, we can still say full, or we can say both, because the length we selected specifically was 40 feet. So you can have a full load on a 40-foot length trailer. So, and then let's go ahead and hit search and see what we get. So we got 17 with 4 of them exact. So I want to minimize my screen a little bit so I can open it up. So now we got these loads right here. Felicia says she's unable to hear anything. Everybody who's in, type yes if you can hear me. I want to see what's going on with Felicia. Type yes in the chat for those who can hear me, please. Okay, Z says yes.
Yeah, it looked like it went out, Charles, and came back in, but we may be okay now, I believe. So
yeah, I can hear you. I'm fine on my end. I'm gonna have her check her speaker or mic icon. So everybody's saying they can hear me. Okay, so now back to yours. So let's click offer again. So now we get highest to lowest. So these four exact ones that are in parentheses are at the top, and then it starts fresh with some other ones, high, low. So coming out of the exact one, Norcross, I don't know how far Norcross is from Atlanta, but there's one coming out of Norcross going up to New York. It's paying $1,600. It's 20 feet, flatbed hot shot, and it's 6,000 pounds. So that's well within your length and weight. But I don't know what cents per mile your guy's looking for a hot shot. Now this one particularly, if you do the math, 1,600 that is paying $1,600 divided by the miles, 11.25. That's $1.42. That's not bad for a hot shot going up there. The question becomes, what are you going to get coming out of New York? And where is Malone, New York? That's upstate? Is that, I doubt if it's on the island. I'm assuming it's upstate. So, and that's how you do that one. Here's another one. $600 going 500 miles. Here's one $500 going 200 miles. So Savannah, Georgia to Ellenwood, Georgia. That's a decent one. 40 feet, 10,000 pounds, a full load. And it stays within the state. So I click, every one you click on it turns black. Over here is the details of that specific one. So the commodity is an empty high cube container. So you basically haul in a container. Free 1 day, quick pay. No TWIC card, no TARP. That's an easy run. 234 miles at $500. That's over $2 a mile, right? So if you take 500 and divide it by 234, that's $2.14 a mile. That's not bad for a hot shot, and it's not going far. So I don't know if your friend is aware of this particular load or not. But so if he's using that Trucker's Edge, that's how he's navigating through that, selecting the specific search criteria that matches his equipment type.
Okay.
So, like I just did there, I just said, you know, picking up anywhere in Georgia, going to anywhere, flatbed, hot shot, 40 foot, I say 11,000 pounds, both partial and full. So we just found your friend a $2.14 per mile load, $500. And that same day, you can go up there and run from Savannah to Ellenwood, 234 miles. You do that in a day, drop that empty container, maybe pick up something coming back, and grab another load. So you can make $1,000. You could do 2 of those runs a day and still be within your hours of service. So that's $1,000 a day with a hot shot, and maybe more, because if you get a back haul coming back to at least cover the fuel. Let's say you find something coming back out of Ellenwood, Georgia, or close by, going back to where you picked up in Savannah to do another run. You see, that's what dispatchers do. They try to either get back to that money load with a back haul or get something out of where they just dropped off going somewhere else that's paying decent. That's the whole art and strategy of dispatching. So, and this one here, black, it's down here too. It's the same one. So it's part of an exact run, and it's not so exact. I don't know why it's there, but it's the same thing. $500, $234, so on and so forth. So, was that helpful?
Very much so. Very much so.
So he now you were saying that you want to focus on the 3 major equipment types: the dry vans, flatbeds, and reefers.
Yes.
Okay. And the last training we had, we want to transition ourselves into the forms and documents. But yeah, here, did you get that link for the hotshot carriers for your guy to send it to him? I think I put it in the chat, the link, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the forms and documents. Now, as dispatchers, when we deal with brokers, the two main documents that we are going to deal with most of the time, we deal with those other documents too, the MC authority, the W-9, certificate of insurance, and the notice of assignment if your carrier has a factoring company. But the two initial documents that you come across when you have a dialogue with a broker are the carrier packet. It's either called the carrier packet, the onboard packet, the setup packet. Whatever name you hear, it's the same form. So setup packet, onboard packet, carrier packet. What it is the broker-carrier agreement. It's the agreement between your carrier with whom you're dispatching with and that brokering company, that brokerage that you're trying to get that load from. That's all that means. Okay? So, and this is some general jargon that's in it. You know, initially the broker, you know, like let's say we found a load today. So this what's today? 22nd day of July 2020. Of course, this is 2000. It wasn't in the teens yet. So 2020 by and between, let's say, ABC Brokerage, hereinafter referred to as brokerage, ABC Brokerage, and XYZ Trucking, hereinafter referred to as carrier. So it's just a general legal jargon you're going to see typically in the broker-carrier agreement, the setup package, the carrier package. Oh, that's a good quiz question later on down the line. You know, what's the other names for the broker-carrier agreement? You know, so let me see here. Okay, let me do a quick roll call again. So I got Zion, Allison, area code 469. I believe that's Jocelyn in Richmond. Kobe's on. Area code 803. Who is area code 803? Okay, Felicia, that's you. Okay, so you called in and then you're looking on your computer. All right. How are you?
Good. I missed everything.
That's okay. You're a guest?
I'm sorry?
Are you joining as a guest, right? Because I didn't.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if someone referred you or you just saw it on YouTube or however. And you are interested. I'm sorry?
Through Facebook on the group.
Oh, the Facebook group Dispatcher 101.
Yes.
Okay. So you're interested in becoming a dispatcher?
Yes.
Okay. So what is it about dispatching at this point? How much of it do you know at this point?
Well, my fiance has been in the business for 10 years, and I do a lot of the paperwork for him right now, basically on the director of operations. So I'm familiar with BOLs and rate cons and all of that, and looking at the load board. So I thought, well, maybe I should just get into dispatching, and it's something to do at home, you know, in between working for the other company.
Right. Okay, there you go. So we were talking about the common articles, common paperwork that you come across when you deal with brokers on a regular basis. The two main ones, of course, are the carrier packets or the broker carrier agreement, onboard packet, setup packet, whatever you want to call it, and then the rate confirmation. So for those of you who are getting familiar with this, Felicia's familiar with it because she does it for her husband. So here's the jargon in here. When you're going to be filling out the broker carrier agreement for your carrier, because you are the dispatcher representing your carrier, and let's say your carrier says they're allowing you to do it for them, because that's the whole point of them giving you a percentage or a flat rate for your service. because they want you to do that stuff behind the scenes while they concentrate on moving the loads and getting to their next load and running consistently. You're handling the for lack of a better word, administrative tasks for them. And that's where the dispatcher carrier agreement come into play at. That's your role as a dispatcher. But anyway, so here's the main one. So when you're conversating with a broker, you call a broker, you saw a load on one of the load boards, whether it's Internet Truck Stop, 123 load board, DAC, you'll see a load for whatever equipment type your carrier has, drive-in, flatbed, reefer, those are the three major ones. You see a load, you say, hey, Mr. Broker, I'm looking at XYZ load going from here to there. Is it still available? And they're going to say, let me check. By the way, and Felicia, correct me if I'm wrong if you haven't heard this verbiage. Broker say, let me check. By the way, what's your MC? So you give them the MC of your carrier. They're going to look it up in their system to see if, number one or two, if your carrier, whether or not they are already set up under that brokerage. So you have two scenarios coming out of that situation. If your carrier is set up with that brokerage, then this part here, the broker carrier agreement, you don't have to do because it's already been done. The only thing next you guys will have to come to an agreement on is the rate. How much is it paying, and does all parties agree to that? Carrier, dispatcher, and broker. Mainly carrier and broker. If so, then the rate confirmation is signed, the load is officially booked. So that's if the carrier their MC is a part of that brokerage's system. If it is not, the broker's going to say, well, you're not set up with us, but let me go ahead and send you a carrier package. Who do I need to send this to? Fax or email. Of course, you being the dispatcher, you want them to send it to you because you are handling the administrative tasks and you can get that process done quicker. So that's where your rogue steps in and you go in there and do that. Now, prior to doing that, of course, as a dispatcher, you want to have copies of your carrier's MC authority letter, their W-9, their certificate of insurance, and an NOA form if your carrier has a factoring company. Why? Because when you upload or send the broker carrier agreement to the broker, they are going to ask for those other documents. So the question becomes, well, why is that? Can someone answer that question? Why do the brokers, when they send you a broker carrier agreement, they'll say, okay, well, send this back along with W-9, certificate of insurance, MC authority, and in some cases, NOA. Can someone answer that?
To make sure that they up to date with their insurance, to make sure that the driver haven't had any accidents or anything maybe in the past couple of years. Just to do some research on the driver, to make sure that he qualify to carry that load without it being a problem.
Correct. So let's break each one down. So the purpose for the W-9 is, the W-9 serves a purpose because it has and while I'm mentioning it, I can go under forms and documents and show it to you. So the W-9, one of the documents that's sent in, it shows the carrier's name as on their insurance, on their taxes, and then their DBA or doing business as name, because they want to make sure they're a legitimate business. They have an EIN number that's associated with that DBA business name and their entity type, whichever one they selected as a carrier. That's the purpose. This is tax-paying purposes. So it shows an EIN number. That's W-9. The MC authority letter, like Z said, I believe that was Z, because it shows that the DOT and the FMCSA, which is the Federal Motor Carriers Safety Administration, authorizes your carrier or gave your carrier an active MC and DOT number that they can haul freight either intrastate or interstate, depending on your carrier's setup with DOT and FMCSA. MC authorities, there are 4 types generally: common carrier, contract carrier, passenger carrier, and HHG, which is household goods, like the moving companies. The passenger carriers are like the charter buses, limousine services, anything that hauls live human beings, and then contracts are basically, like the name says, contracting you with a specific company. The main ones that we deal with as independent dispatchers are the common carrier authorities. They haul general freight pretty much anywhere. So that's the MC authority. The FMCSA authorizes your carrier to move freight either in their specific residential state or interstate, all over the place. So that's that. The W-9 MC authority, and then certificate of insurance. This says that your carrier has a specific amount of coverage for liability and cargo. General liability is typically the minimum requirement for the insurance side for BIPD is $750,000, but most companies, brokerages, to haul their loads, they require $1 million, and I think they're upping that to $2 million. But right now, let's just keep $1 million out here. So most carriers will get $1 million liability, and then cargo is $100,000, and then you may have some extra like umbrellas and contingencies and things like that. But generally, the two that you want to be mindful of for your carriers are the liability, general liability $1 million, and cargo $100,000. Typically on the insurance, you'll see the policies, you'll see the start and expiration date of the policy, the type of policy, and the amounts. The producer is the insurance company. The insured is the carrier. So ABC Insurance Company. The insured is XYZ Trucking. Over here, you would have the insurance agent's name for that producer's company, the insurance company, their phone number, fax, email, but pay close attention to down here, because sometimes you may hear, and I think Felicia may have heard this too, some brokers, they'll say, send over your certificate of insurance, but we want to be made the certificate holder on that. What they are asking you to do is get with the insurance agent for your carrier's company and say, hey, I need a certificate of insurance listing the following as the certificate holder. And you're going to give that agent the name of the brokerage, their street address, city, state, and zip. They're going to put that information in this box right here where it says certificate holder, and they'll say, well, who do I fax or email this to? Now, you can say email it directly to the broker and then CC you as a dispatcher. That way you get a copy. That way you kill two birds with one stone. Or you can just have them send it to you and then you send it to the brokerage. The better way, in my opinion, is it looks more professional having the broker receive it straight from the insurance company with you being CC'd in it as a dispatcher. Any questions in that regard? Are you guys clear on that? Okay. So that's the W-9, certificate of insurance, MC authority, and then of course the NOI, the notice of assignment. If your carrier has a factory company, they run the checks on the brokerage just to make sure that their days to pay is pretty decent. There are no red flags against this brokerage. Otherwise, your factory company will, let your carrier know, like, hey, you might want to reconsider this particular brokerage. They've been known to have issues with paying and things like that. So it's kind of a safety net, if you will, for your carriers to have that factory company's notice of assignment feature as part of their service. So now once you go through the broker carrier agreement, fill that out. Of course, you want to see, what the carrier represents, what the broker represents, their responsibilities, the carrier's responsibilities. Look for in the carrier package things that mention maybe like layovers, detention, lumper. Sometimes you may not see it in the carrier package, but you will see it in the rate confirmations. That'll be a good time to bring up any issues you may have, especially on that particular load and other loads going forward with that broker. Things like detention. And if anyone doesn't understand what detention or layover or lumpers or TONU, what that means, I can explain that. Because you as a dispatcher, you're going to come across one, if not more than one of those scenarios for any one or several of your carriers. Your carrier may get to a DC, distribution center, and may sit there for a while, detention for hours, or your carrier may be on their way to a pickup, and the broker calls you, the dispatcher, saying, hey, by the way, that shipper canceled that load after the rate confirmation was signed, officially booking that load. So now you have scenarios now that you need to understand how to properly handle those, right? So TONU, detention, lumpers, how do you handle a lumper if your carrier is sitting there, they won't let him leave the dock until that lumper is paid, and it wasn't included in the rate confirmation. It was a separate expense. They don't take cash. They only take a T-check or a T-code. So how do you handle that? So, you know, these are things that you'll come across in your dispatching journeys as you become more progressive in those journeys. You'll see that those are special situations that occur, and they're easy fixes. You just got to know how to do it. They're easy fixes because they happen. They're commonalities that happen in the transportation industry. May not necessarily be with your carrier all the time, but they happen. So for you guys to have an understanding of how to handle that, that kind of puts you ahead of the curve. So, and to expect it, so when it happens, you'll know how to deal with it. So, any questions so far? And let me know if I'm moving too fast. No questions about that. No questions about the carrier packet. The concepts of filling out the carrier packet. I think Felicia, she has that. She has an understanding of it.
In the carrier package, should you read it over as a dispatcher? Like I know, like you were just saying with the detention, like some brokers may say they pay extra if you do over 2 hours, or if you over extra hours, they'll pay for your detention. As a truck driver, do you look for that in the agreement, or is that the job of a trucker?
It'll give you a more impressionable experience with your carrier if you have a better understanding of that carrier packet and the rate confirmation, particularly looking for things like that, like detention, because a carrier may ask you, man, you're doing a carrier packet. Do they mention detention, or do they mention TONU, or do they mention layover, or do they mention lumper? You know, so if you have at least a general understanding of what those things are, then you will know where to look for them in the either in the carrier packet or at least on the rate confirmation, because sometimes you may not see it on the carrier packet, but it'll be on the rate confirmation. And if it's not on either one, bring it up with that broker so they can add it to the rate confirmation, redo it, send it to you before you guys sign it, because you want to make your carrier as happy as possible. You know, so if I'm a carrier and you dispatch it to me, and I'm wondering about, you know, detention, is it after 2 or is it after 3 hours? And then what's the hourly rate after that cutoff time? Or, you know, is lumper included in the, you know, fuel surcharge, or lumper, is that included in the rate, or is that a separate amount? Or TONU, how much TOU is being paid? If I'm driving to pick up a load 100-something miles away, then all of a sudden I get a call from my dispatcher saying that shipper canceled that load. The broker said the shipper canceled the load. Okay, I just wasted about $50 in fuel trying to drive to it. So what am I going to get for that? Am I going to get at least my fuel back times 3? That's why the amount is sometimes $150 up to about $250. I think it caps at about $250. So that's the idea behind the TONU. When you're driving, whatever amount that you may have burned, let's say you burned $50 in fuel while you were on your way, halfway there, your dispatcher calls you and say, oh, man, I apologize, but the broker said that the shipper canceled that load. Man, I'm about 30 miles away. Well, I got you a TONU for $250. All right, well, let's, you know, and I say as a dispatcher, I say, where are you at right now? I'll try to find you something. Go ahead and stop at the next truck stop, and we'll try to find you something within a certain amount of day. So it's those special situations that you know, your skill set will, you know, come to use for you as a dispatcher, and it'll go a long way with your carrier, because it shows your carrier that, you know, you got their best interest, you know, at heart there. Is that cool, Z?
Oh yeah, it's good.
So you got, and then you got something called non-exclusive or exclusive use. So if you pick up a partial load from a broker, but you can put another load on it. But on that agreement, it said exclusive use. That means that only their freight can go on that trailer. You can't put anything else on the trailer while you're under that load. That's what exclusive use means. That means you could only use your trailer exclusively for to haul their freight. They don't want any other freight on there. Even if it's a partial and you're going in the same direction, you can pick up an extra $2,000 to $3,000 for another load going in the exact same direction. You know, if you sign that exclusive use on that rate confirmation, then you're bound legally, or at least your carrier is legally bound to not put anything else on that trailer. So you'll say your carrier had a partial on a dry-van trailer and it was only paying $1,600, but you can put another partial on it paying another $3,000. Of course, you want to put it on there because you're going in the same direction, but you can't legally because you have an exclusive use rate confirmation for that particular brokered load. Now, do some carriers do it outside of that? Of course they do. But I'm just saying, you know, legally you cannot. So just keep that in mind. Exclusive use means that you can only put freight on that trailer for that particular brokered load while you're under that particular load. So look out for those kind of pitfalls there.
Charles, are those primarily government type loans? I mean, loads?
No, actually no. To be honest with you, some large companies, some VCs do it. I'm not sure if Amazon is one of those. If you get the Amazon contract, I would imagine Amazon would want exclusive use because they only want you to haul their freight. They don't want you to put other partials on the trailer while you're hauling their freight. But it's not limited to just government freight. No.
Okay.
So here's the end of the broker carrier agreement. Of course, the broker's going to already have his side filled out, and then you'll sign your carrier's name. Now, don't sign your name as a dispatcher, print your name, and put your title. You're going to actually sign for your carrier's information, their name printed, and then their title, of course, owner, and then whatever their company address, phone. Usually carriers don't have a fax number and in their email. So that's the one document that's in that broker dispatcher carrier relationship. The other one, of course, is the rate confirmation. So usually the rate confirmation is pretty much officially books the load once this is signed. That's why you want to make sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed on the rate confirmation, because once you or your carrier signs this and sends it back to the broker, then it's officially booked. Now the broker you're dealing with, and you can make changes to it, and they can send out another one and you re-sign it. You know, you come across something that's going to cause problems.
About the biggest mistakes that I see out here that rookie truck drivers make. And if you get out here,
there we go. All right. So the rate confirmation usually is telling it'll give the load number, because when your carrier gets to a pickup location or a shipper to pick up a load, then the shipping department or logistics people at that location need to know, the load number, so they can identify what to load on the trailer of your carrier and not the wrong freight. So on the rate confirmation, something that identifies what that freight is, either a load number or a reference number, or even a BOL number, the number of pieces, number of pallets, just the general stuff that they can easily identify in that. And this is provided, typically the broker is supposed to fill this information in as thoroughly as they can, because they're getting it from their customer, who is the shipper, where the trucker is going to get that load from. The broker is just a liaison, getting all the information, putting it on the rate confirmation, and then sending it to your carrier or you, the dispatcher, so you can sign it. So in that process, when the broker is booking this load with you, and they're saying, okay, you returned the rate confirmation and you returned those other documents to them. They're saying, okay, give me 30 minutes, I'm going to make you a rate confirmation. This is the broker talking to you, the dispatcher. What they're doing is they're going in their system, their TMS system, transportation management software, and they're building a rate confirmation based off of the load tender that they received from their customer, which is the shipper. That's how that works on the broker side. They get a load tender from the shipper, let's say $5,000. I like to use that as an example. The broker's taking their 15, 20%, whatever that number is off the top, and then they're producing or creating or building a load, a rate confirmation sheet, minus their markup percentage, their margin. So let's say 20% out of 5,000. So they took $1,000 off the top, and they're going to send you, the dispatcher or the carrier, a rate confirmation for $4,000. But remember, the broker's still going to invoice their customer, the shipper, for $5,000 because that's what the load tender was for originally. They're going to get paid by the shipper $5,000. They're going to pay the carrier $4,000, and then keep the change. That's how this industry works, for the most part. And then also, too, brokers like to add extra incentives to themselves. They'll charge for extra services. Like brokers have a 3-tier, if not more, pay scale for carriers, especially carriers who do not have factory companies. Brokers offer 3 payment options: quick pay, 5 to 7 day wire transfers, or a paper check. The quick pay and the 5 to 7 day transfers, wire transfer, is an extra percentage on top of what they took off from their margin. So say they took off 20% of the $5,000, so they took $1,000 off. So now $4,000 goes to the carrier. Let's say this carrier doesn't have a factory company, and they choose to use one of the payment options of the broker, either the quick pay, which is at 5%, or the wire transfer at 3%. Let's say they use the 5%. So the broker's going to charge them 5% of the $4,000 they were going to pay them anyway. They already took $1,000 off. Now they're going to charge them another 5% of the $4,000 for that quick pay service. This is how brokers work. This is how they make their money. So they're going to charge another $200. So the carrier is getting actually $3,800, and the broker just made $1,200 off of that $5,000 load tender that the shipper, their customer, gave them for that load. You guys follow that?
Yeah.
But that's the nature of the business. So if you ever get into brokering, that's, and you want to offer, if you got carriers, because you may have carriers who don't have factoring companies, and most brokered loads are factored loads, by the way, but you may have carriers who don't have factoring companies. You say, well, hey, my brokerage offers three ways of paying you. We can send you a paper check between 15 and 30 days, a paper check to your physical address. We can wire transfer you between 5 and 7 days your money, but that's going to cost you 3% of what we're going to pay you anyway. Or we can give you a quick pay, 24 to 48 hours, today or next day at 5%. So, most carriers, especially new carriers, they want their money fast because they're trying to get to their next load, use that money to pay for fuel to get to their next load so they can keep rolling. So what do you think carriers are going to they're going to opt for the quick pay? They'll say, I can take a 5% hit. I'm getting paid $4,000. I'll give you 5%, $200. I'll take $3,800. So the broker already took $1,000 off the top of the $5,000, gave you $4,000, Mr. Carrier. Now they're going to take another 5% off your $4,000 that they're paying you and give you $3,800. That's the nature of the business.
Hey, Charles, quick question.
Yeah.
Not to go too far off topic, but regarding brokering, how does one get into brokering? Do you suggest learning the dispatching side first before even trying to attempt to be a broker, or you know what I'm saying? Just trying to figure out, if somebody's coming in new, how can they become a broker? Because I know the shippers, I would imagine, will want somebody with, I guess, a lot of experience, I'm assuming to bring them on as a broker, but I don't know. I'm just asking.
Okay. From a financial perspective, it's the easiest entry point into this industry. Transportation will be dispatching. Learn the basics of that, and then because while you're learning how to dispatching, you're dealing with people who you ultimately want to be, which are brokers, right? And you're listening to their jargon, how they talk, and things like that. The brokerage side, if you're good at customer service, if you're good at making phone calls, talking to people, if you have the gift of gab, you can start as a broker agent, working under a brokerage, getting your experience and building what's called a book of business. What that means is your book of business are the customers that you bring under that brokerage that you are working for as a broker agent. Broker agents work for brokers under their authority, bringing business to that brokerage for a percentage based off of their experience. So if you are a new broker agent under my brokerage, let's say Exodus Logistics, then you can say, okay, and you have no book of business, then the commission split would be 50-50. In other words, if you bring in a shipper and we move loads for that shipper, then you get 50% of that, what the load pays, and the brokerage get 50%. Now, as you gain more experience and you bring in more shippers, then of course that percentage commission split goes up in proportion to your experience for the broker agent, 60-40, 70-30, and I've seen 80-20 as a cap, 80% to the agent, 20% to the brokerage. The only thing that the broker is doing in that regard for the agent is just providing them the ability to use their authority, use their transportation management software, their TMS software, and training them on how to bring in shippers under their brokerage. Now, if you want to branch out and let's say after a year, you're working as a broker agent, and you say, man, I think I got this down. I'm doing a 70-30 split right now, so I think I'm good enough to do it myself. And now you want to go ahead and get your own bond, your own broker authority, insurance, and things like that that you need, BLC3, all the requirements for a broker. You can do it yourself, and you move those shippers that you brought under that brokerage. You take your book of business with you into your brokerage, depending on if the contract that you signed as an agent with that broker says you can do that. Now, you got to be careful if you work as a broker agent, because when you sign a contract under a brokerage, some brokers say, well, you cannot take your book of business with you when you leave, or you can take 50% of it with you when you leave, or none at all. So if you decide to go that route as a broker agent, be careful of the fine print when you sign the agreement, the broker-agent agreement. There is such a thing as a broker-agent agreement. If you decide to go that route because you don't have the, let's say, for whatever reason, but the number one reason, you may not have the financial experience or anything like that to start a brokerage on your own, but you know someone who is a broker, and they said, well, you can come work under me and get some experience and then form your own brokerage, but you can't take your business with you. As a show of favor for me allowing you to do that, any shippers you bring to my brokerage, I get to keep them when you leave. You just got to start fresh and bring your own shippers later on. So if you agree to that, that's fine, because at least you get the experience of working under a brokerage. You can always get your own shippers.
Okay.
So,
hey, Charles, I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in a situation, something like that, because I'm looking at all kind of my own brokerage, but I have one of the big brokerage companies. They're supposed to give me an interview, call me tomorrow. But I know already that I can't keep my book of business with them. But they also is a big name, so I'm in a position like, yeah. Yeah.
I already know. I already knew you said a big Landstar.
Right, you know. Now I'm in a situation like they got the big name, but I can't do it myself. But with the big name help me, and like when I'm calling the shippers, like, yeah, I work for Landstar, or when I'm saying that like with my own company, like I'm in a predicament now like that. Like that's why I'm here to ask for your advice. Like, what would be good, and also, are you hiring for your brokerage?
Well, I haven't. Mine is not officially up like I wanted. I'm mainly focusing on dispatch training. I need to go ahead and do that, but I'm mainly focusing on the dispatching side. So let me see. Marcelo says, please let me in. I see video but no sound. Marcelo, click your mic. Click your mic or phone icon. He says, let him in. You're in, Marcelo. Sorry. But, yeah, who's that, Kobe?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Marcelo just came in.
Yes.
Okay. You're in, Marcelo. Okay, so Kobe. Yeah. So you're at a catch-22 where you're dealing with a big name, but they're not letting you take any book of business with you when you leave, not even like a 50% or 25% or 30% or whatever.
Well, I'm going to talk to the representatives tomorrow. I had talked to some lady over, I think it was Friday. Now I was talking to the regional manager. I think out here. She's going to call me tomorrow, so I'll get more information. But she had told me that I believe that they're going to keep my book of business. And then she was saying, because like if I might as well, if I start my own, I got to start all over anyway. Instead of if I'm with them, I don't think they're gonna let me take my book of business with them. So that's like you said, catch 2020. But I want to talk to them tomorrow. But if not, that's I'm in that predicament right there, trying to figure it out.
Now there's ways around that, but you got to be careful because the big companies like Landstar, they actually look for lawsuits for people who like used to work for them, leave, start a company, and Landstar recognizes the name of the people that start the company as former employees of them, and then they'll go after them saying that you violated the NDA, non-disclosure, and all this other stuff by going after the shippers that we specifically and explicitly said that you could not take with you per the contract. So now if you were to leave and then form another brokerage and put it in somebody else's name, now this is a game right here now. Don't tell them I told you this, but if you leave, you got the experience, you know who the shippers were because you were the ones who brought them to Landstar, but then you form another company, put in a partner's name, you could be like a silent partner or whatever, and then you go snatch some shippers back up, the ones that used to work with, or have your partner do it, you just give them the lingo that you use to get them. But now it's your partner that's doing it, you're a silent partner, so there's ways around that, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I got you.
Or you can just say the hell with it and get your own the same way you brought new shippers under Landstar, you could do it under your own brokerage.
Right.
Landstar is a big name, but a lot of companies do not like Landstar. A lot of shippers don't like Landstar. Landstar is a shrewd company.
Okay. Yeah, I did hear a couple of bad things with the people who lease on with them, talk about them and everything. So.
Now, I got a buddy. This is a scary number, and I find it hard to believe, but he's been there for over 10 years. He tells me he's making because he has agents under him, he makes over $200,000 a month. So I find that hard to believe, but so yeah. Marcelo just said, create your company in Wyoming, LLC. Nobody would know who is the owner. There you go.
That's like a shell company, I guess, huh?
Basically, like an offshore company, a shell company. Yeah. So there's loopholes in the system, but I wouldn't even recommend using the loopholes in the system because you'll be looking over your shoulder. Just go at it face forward, head forward. Just break ties with them, cut the umbilical cord. There's so many shippers out here who are tired of dealing with the big boys, and they want to give the small companies a chance because the reason here's one of the reasons, because the smaller companies, they're hungry, so they're going to give you, the shipper, 100% of their effort in order to satisfy the shipper, right? Because they're smaller, they're hungry, they're trying to get in, they're trying to break through that glass ceiling of the big boys arena. So the smaller companies like your brokerage, who's trying to penetrate that market and get in and get their margins, you're more hungry. See, they're established, so they're actually too comfortable. So you see these smaller companies coming up now, brokerages, but you got to do it the right way. That's the only way shippers are dealing with it. You got to do it the right way. So, but stay hungry.
Okay.
And, you know, you got to, with brokering, you got to find that niche, you know, find a niche, do research in your area. I don't know where you're based at, Kobe.
Kissimmee, Florida. I know it's not a lot of freight come up out of this area.
Okay. Which is a good state to get cheap truck insurance in? That's a good question. I would say Virginia, but their rates are crazy. I would say, if I was a betting man, I would say the states that are not as freight heavy, because the heavier the freight is in that state, the higher the insurance is going to be, because a lot of people are trying to get insurance in that state because there's a lot of freight there. The less freight in those states, then you may get a better deal with those insurance companies. Now, you're talking about the State Farms, the Progressives. As far as commercial, I'm assuming commercial insurance because we're talking about the transportation industry. So that's for Mo. So yeah, so put yourself in the mindset of an insurance broker or an insurance agent, and you're in a state that doesn't, and you're doing commercial insurance, but you're in a state that not a lot of freight is moving in, but you have customers that want to get insurance in your state. Of course, you want to have competitive rates. You want to have as low as rates as possible in order to get that policy, you know. But if you're in a state like Georgia where everybody's moving everything, then, you know, your number's going to be up there. So
I might have to look into Wyoming out there, you know what I'm saying? It might, I don't know, but a lot of freight come from out of there, and I still had a great idea out there.
Yeah, Wyoming, the like Pacific Northwest, you got some there's some flatbed stuff coming out of there. You got farms up there. That'd be a good state for shippers, to go after shippers.
Right, okay.
So Mo said, no freight in my state, but rates are crazy. What state is that, Mo?
Charles, you're going to stop calling me Mo, too, man.
It says Mo on the thing. Mo.
Well, it's my other computer.
Okay, Exquisite Logistics.
Yeah.
Oh, this my man's in there. This Mike from up top.
Yo, check it. Don't get caught in that Landstar shit, cause yo, their contract got a whole bunch of clauses in it.
I'm trying to let them know that, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, they're jamming, yo. So you gotta be careful with Landstar.
Yeah, they're not only staff, they'll board you.
Yeah. Well, yo, Charles, I'm trying to find out where state where I can get cheap insurance. You know, I'm getting quote 30 racks.
Oh Lord.
And in Maryland, it ain't no freight out here like that. But yo, the rates is crazy.
That's probably because you probably in like you in the DMV. DMV.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why you got DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Yeah, so you right there you right there by the bridge over that way up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Man, what's over there?
Check it out. I heard you say something right there. It already crossed my mind about another state. Yo, would I have to change my LLC too?
That's a good question. If I was a betting man, I would say yes. That way you protect yourself in case they circle back, the insurance circle back just to see and check you out, because some insurers, especially new policyholders, insurance want to make sure a lot of I's are dotted and T's are crossed before they actually open that policy up with you. So you may want to consider, like you over there, Delaware. Delaware might be a good state for you over that way if you want to open up an LLC over there or whatever. But Delaware, I think Delaware is like a no tax kind of state too. I believe.
Delaware is the best state, but I'm looking for the cheapest insurance. And I was thinking I might have to get my authority in that state too, though.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, let me do some research on that when I get back from Ohio. See what's going on. And yeah, and send me a reminder if you don't mind, email reminder or text or something, because I need to talk to, I got a terminal manager that I deal with every day. I'm going to ask him about that.
Yo, did you get your box trucks?
I got 2. I'm working on a 3rd, and because we got the, we got the IKEA over here. We got what is that? Cost Plus, the World Market stuff. Amazon. If you want to drive box, this is another thing too for box trucks people, for LTLs. If you guys considering driving box trucks for Amazon, they require you to wrap your trucks with their logos, which is bananas. If I'm an independent contractor, I get the marketing part of it, but I'm not trying to have Amazon on my truck all the time, because I may be getting freight from other people, and if they see me pulling up with a big Amazon wrapped around my truck, that's not a good look. So that's one of the requirements. We was in a meeting about that, like a conference. I'm like, I wasn't feeling that. So, but the rate, but the loads are steady. Amazon is like literally taking over. I'm seeing planes, trains. They're trying to take over. So.
That no touch freight, though?
Huh?
Amazon is no touch freight?
With the little sprinter vans, Amazon Flex is you touch the freight, you put them that's like straight to the door. But the box truck is DC and warehouse to warehouse. So yeah, no touch freight. You pull up, they come on there with a pallet jack. Yeah. So that's no touch. And then of course the tractor trailer is definitely no truck. You either dropping a hook in or you
just pull up and that's a wrap.
Either live unloads or you dropping a hook in. So yeah. But if you guys, Amazon is slowly becoming the future. So if you guys are going to be in this for the long haul, I would highly recommend considering touching Amazon in some way, shape, or fashion. So, and that's just a little preview of things to come with Amazon. So, Marcelo.
Yes.
I apologize that I didn't call you back. What question did you have? I missed your call and I didn't call you back. Can you hear me? You still there, Marcelo? I see your green light on, but I don't hear you speaking. But until Marcelo, okay, I want to know more about. Oh, he wants to know more about Broker 101. Well, Broker 101. So you're under Dispatcher 101 right now, Marcelo. If you can see the screen. Freight Broker 101 is all this content right here. So if you are considering becoming a freight broker, there's certain prerequisites that's required. You know, of course, your business name, your business plan, things like that. Certain broker requirements you need. You need a broker authority. You need a bond, a broker bond, which it's either a BMC 84, which is the surety bond, or a BMC 85, which is the trust fund. So, and then you need a BOC 3, which is a process agent in every state that you're going to be brokering freight. Now, most companies have processing agents that touch all states, so you can just choose one company and you'll be covered. And then insurance and things like that. So, Felicia said, I have a question regarding accessing new authority filers. What's your question?
Okay, I'm sorry. Charles, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I was listening to a webinar the other day, and they were saying, as far as dispatching, how you market your new business, being able to access the new authority filings. They said that there's a list on the FMCSA site, but I'm not sure. I was on it the other day. Is that something that's free there?
Yes, I can take you there. Let me see what Marcelo said, because I showed it the other training. But let me see what Marcelo typed here. After being a broker, can I also start with trucks? Yes. So Marcelo, you can either be a non-asset or an asset-based broker, if I'm understanding you correctly. So if you want to start a brokerage with your own, you can start it. I tell you what, you can start a trucking company. Get a motor carrier authority. Start a trucking company. Run that. Dispatch your own trucks, and then form a brokerage using your trucks as assets. That could be an easy entry point into brokering, because you'll have your own assets on your trucking side when you form your broker side. And then when you go to shippers, you will look more impressionable to them because you're an asset-based brokerage. Also, too, you can use trucks outside of your trucking company, but who are under your MC authority as leverage when you go to shippers to get contracts with the shippers as a broker. So you can say, I'm an asset-based brokerage. I got 10 of my own trucks and 20 other trucks under my authority. So I got a total of 30 trucks as an asset-based brokerage. 10 are mine and 30 and 20 are contracted. So shippers are going to see that and say, well, you got 30 trucks available for me. Let me give you an opportunity by giving you those, as opposed to someone becoming a broker without any assets. So you have a chance to get shippers better that way, and that's explained in Freight Brokering 101 as well. The different strategies to use to take advantage and leverage with shippers. Now, as far as Felicia is concerned, the new don't mix the MC. So when you start a trucking company and a brokerage, they have to be under different. So say you start Marcelo's trucking company under this MC authority, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you start Marcelo's brokerage under this broker MC authority, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they must be different MCs. That is correct. Marcelo says, but I want to start slow, so that's why I think it's less expensive being a broker first. Well, being a dispatcher first is less expensive. There's hardly no startup cost in being a dispatcher. So, but you could build up revenue. Just put all the expenses down that's required to be a broker, and then add that number up and decide, okay, when will you get that point where you're able to afford that? And it's not that much. Let's say about five grand. So Z said and I forgot about you, Felicia. I'm going to go to the Safer website and show it to you. Z said, question on Amazon Sprinter cargo vans. Are you speaking of the Amazon partnership? Yes. Forget the term that they use, but it's a partnership where you have to pay them $10K and they have to approve you, or it's something else. Yes. On the Sprinter cargo side, it is a partnership, and then on the box truck side, it is a partnership in the sense that you are also required to wrap your trucks with their logos while you're running their freight. Even if you are an independent contractor and you put other freight on that truck that is non-Amazon related, they still require that truck to be wrapped, which is something I do not agree with, because I do not want Amazon monopolizing my truck, because I'm using my truck for more than Amazon freight. That's the disclaimer that Amazon requires. So although Amazon is good, you can get steady freight with them. That's one of the things from a marketing thing, because they're trying to take over the game. So this is one of the little idiosyncrasies that they throw at you. Okay, so let's go to, because I don't want to forget, Felicia, let's go to the Safer. And Felicia, you still with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. And when I show this to you, you can also download the current one to your desktop and always have it in front of you. That way you don't have to keep going to the Safer website and doing it. But Do you have access to the SAFER website? I think I can send the link right here to you in the chat.
I was on that website last night. I didn't know exactly where to go.
Okay, so let's start from scratch. So let's just type in any number, any DOT number, MC number, or company name. So I'm going to put MC number, DOT number. Just throw something in there just to get a result, right? So I come across this. So whatever result you get from putting in that first initial search, once you get to this screen right here, and let me know when you, because I want to make sure you're at the same screen I'm at, and I can guide you step by step, okay?
Okay, so I need to go to that site now?
Yeah. So let me know when you're at, because every screen that I have on that you see on the screen that I'm sharing with you, I want you to have it on your computer so I can take you step by step to the location.
Okay.
And this is for anyone else who, beginner dispatchers, if you're looking for carriers who just got their MC authority or waiting for their authority to become active. So let me repeat that. For carriers who just recently filed to have their MC authority to become active, because you will see a file date like July 14th, but when you go back to look that number up in SAFER, it'll say that their operating status is not authorized yet. That's because their MC hasn't become active. It's not for a bad reason. It's just that it takes about 21 business days for them to get approved and things like that. So, yes, I recommend that strategy, Marcelo. Okay, so Felicia, are you at the same screen that I'm at?
Okay, so once I go to the SAFER site, where again do I go when I get to the website?
Okay, so are you at the same screen that I'm at right now?
No, I'm actually at the very beginning. Where,
okay, so right here.
Hold on.
You're right here?
I'm switching screens. It's not working for me to go back and forth. Okay, so no, the first screen when you first log in. So where did you click on?
Okay, so the link that I sent in the chat for SAFER, did you click that link?
Oh, no wonder. Okay, great. So that would be the thing. All right, let me do that. Okay, so I'm there.
Okay. Now, do you see in the center of the screen you got DOT, MC, and name, the radio buttons?
Yes.
Click on DOT, US DOT, and put that number that you see on my screen into your enter value box, and then hit search. That 1594848.
Okay.
And then hit search. You're going to come up to another screen with that DOT's company information, right?
Okay, so I'm there.
Okay. Now, on the right-hand side toward the top, under company snapshot, and the name of that company where it says Richard's Farm or whatever, you're going to see a little blue box that says other information for this carrier, SMS results, and licensing and insurance.
Uh-huh.
Okay, click the link that says licensing and insurance.
Okay.
Okay, you see the other page that opened up?
Yes.
Okay, now at the top of that page on the right-hand side, you see a little drop-down menu where it says choose menu option, and it says go.
Choose menu option, and it says?
Right. Choose menu option. So if you click that drop-down arrow where it says choose menu option, you're going to see a list of options in there. Choose the one. Choose the one that says FMCSA register.
Oh, register. Okay, gotcha.
Yep. And then click go. Hold on one second. Okay, so you chose FMCSA register and go?
Yes.
Okay, so now you should see a list of PDF reports in the center of the screen.
Right.
Okay, the very top one was the date column says 7/22/20.
Uh-huh.
Then right next to that, it has PDF report, a link that's blue.
Right.
Click that link, and it should take you to a PDF form, a registered form.
Oh, okay.
So now in this area, now this is a registry, this is a database that the FMCSA publishes every 2 weeks with name changes, people who had their authority revoked, people who had their authority reinstated, people who freshly filed for their authorities. So you got to go to a certain area to look for the one that we're looking for. It's called the fitness area. So I'm going to scroll down to about halfway, and you can follow along with me. I'll give you the page number once we get to that location. So we got right here, it says non-fitness. That's on page 35. I want to go to the one that says fitness. So I'm going to scroll down a little further. It has non-fitness first. So now on page 40. So go to page 40, fitness. And let me know when you're there. On page 40.
It took a little bit of time for me to come back to the screen, and I had to unmute myself. Yeah, I'm on page 40 now.
Okay. So Marcelo asked the question, what's the difference between fitness and non-fitness? Fitness and non-fitness describe, fitness is a word that's used for the SAFER website, Safety and Fitness Electronic Record. So that's what SAFER stands for. So let's go back up to non-fitness for a minute, 34. So non-fitness gives you a description of who qualifies as a non-fitness registrant on this site. Those motor carriers and contract carriers of household goods, passenger carriers, intrastate motor carriers, and then household good forwarders and household good brokers. Those are the non-fitness qualifiers. We do not work with any of those. We work with fitness qualifiers, Marcelo, which includes the ones that we target as independent freight dispatchers, which are the common carriers of property except household goods who are interstate. So you have to remember that. Interstate, not intrastate, common carriers of household goods, of property except household goods. So, which is in this category right here. Right here. Motor carriers and contracted carriers. So we're only going to focus on the common carriers. Common carriers, motor carriers of property except household goods who are interstate. So when you scroll through this, they're going to start with the FF category, which are the freight forwarders. We're not dealing with freight forwarders right now because we are beginner dispatchers. That's a whole different beast. So don't even think about that at this point. That's a whole other training. Trust me. So we're going to scroll down.
3 P's, baby.
Yeah, 3 PLs, correct. Third-party logistics, 3PLs. They receive the freight, They hold it and store it for a period of time, and then they transload it and ship it out, and they get paid for that service. So, so here we go. Here's one. Interstate. Remember what I said? Interstate, not intrastate. Common carriers except household goods. So that's our category as beginner dispatcher. So any one of these who meet this highlighted criteria is a possible candidate for a new carrier for you guys to call to try to dispatch for. This is the area, Felicia, that you look for new, at least new filed carriers, not necessarily carriers who got their authority active. You have to remember that. These dates are the date.
Can you repeat that real quick? I'm sorry. I was trying to understand. Can you repeat how you look for the new carrier?
Oh, okay, right here. The highlighted piece, interstate, common carrier, except household goods. So when you're looking at this PDF file, under this fitness area, from page 40 and beyond, those are the ones that you look for. Interstate, common carrier, except household goods, not intrastate. Unless you got a carrier who only runs in their particular state where they live, but you have a chance to make a little bit more revenue if you target carriers who have interstate authorities to run all over the country as opposed to just within their state. Now, mind you, certain states you can run intrastate and make a decent living. Texas, for example, that's a huge state. So Texas, Georgia, Florida, California, Ohio. So, but starting out for you guys as very new beginner dispatchers, and you want to go after brand new carriers who are filing their authority. This is the filing date. This is the date that the authority became active. They may still be waiting. This is the 17th, so this person still may have some time to wait for his authority to become active. I'll tell you why. If you open this up, copy this MC, and put it into Safer, I can guarantee you that it's going to say it's not authorized. So,
función de mensajes. Tendrá cobro.
And that's a different company, so that's an MC. That's an MC, and I looked it up for DOT. So it's not even in the system. So I'm looking for MC. I put DOT. So MC is not in the database yet. So, but that's the example. So you can actually also do a search. There's another resource you can use. You can go to the DAT directory, search for this company's name, or you can go to Quick Transport Solutions, search for this company's name. But this date is the actual date that they filed to have their authority made active. It's not the date that the authority became active. You have to remember that. You have to keep that in mind. Because most people look at that, they'll say, oh, well, their authority became active on the 17th. No, it did not. That's when they filed to have their authority become active. Remember, there's a wait period for this process. Now, they still have to check their insurance out. They have to check the driver's stuff. There's a whole plethora of criteria that FMCSA goes over prior to making an authority active. You can get the number, that's fine, but it still doesn't mean that the number is active yet. There's still steps that has to be gone through. The qualifiers that FMCSA and DOT require for that particular carrier to meet in order for that to become active. And the day that happens and that becomes active, that's the date, that's their date that they become active. Go ahead, Marcella. Hey, Marcella, can you talk? Because you're typing. Are you able to talk, Marcella? Okay, go ahead, continue typing, because all I'm hearing is peck, 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 peck. Okay, Felicia, you can download the PDF to your local machine and have this at your disposal for this 2-week period. That way you don't have to keep going back into Safer and going through that process. But I'll explain it to you as much as you need to and plus this video is being recorded, so you can always reference it. But you can just simply download it, click this download button, and save it on your desktop as, I don't know, safer registry for new carriers or something like that. So
All right.
I never found out. I apologize. There's so much going on right now. I did not find out if that can be extracted to an Excel spreadsheet, the actual PDF. Felicia, are you good, Felicia?
Yes. Thank you so much for explaining that to me. And let me ask you, those other companies such as Transportation Data Source and Carrier 411, companies like that, like Quick Transport Solutions, they ask you to pay for the same information. Is that right?
No. Right here. Let's go to Quick. You can look up Quick Transport Solutions for free, and do So here's a link to that. Control C and put this in the chat. Some do require subscriptions because they may give you more data, but I mean, you don't need. You can use the bare minimum. And so, how on the FMCSA the MC is for broker and carrier? Because brokers require MCs. There's two types of MC numbers for a broker: broker of property and a broker of household goods. There are four types of. This is for Marcelo. He asked the question. There are four types of MCs for carriers: common, contract, passenger, and household goods. HHG. Now, when you are, let me see. Did I paste that? I don't know if I pasted that link. Okay, there. Quick Transport Solutions. So I'm going to navigate this real quick, but I'm going to show Marcelo something. When you are looking for brokers, so let's go back up to the fitness and non-fitness categories, Marcelo. So right here, under fitness, motor carrier broker of general commodities except household goods. So that's a broker. So they fall under fitness, right? The general broker of property. Non-fitness, you got broker of household goods. Let's go up to non-fitness. Household goods, property brokers, right there. There's the difference, Marcelo. So property brokers are under fitness. Household goods brokers are under non-fitness. Yes. You can talk. I don't know if you can talk. I've asked you. You can. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you listen to me?
Yeah.
Okay. You just told me that I must file under different MC number for broker and for carrier. That's the question. How, with the same MC number on the FMCSA, I see the same that this company is a broker and a carrier.
Give me an example. Let me see that one.
When we're looking as a dispatcher, when we're looking searching for carriers. One of the things we have to do is make sure it is not a broker and a carrier at the same time. So
right, correct.
That's my question. Those companies are broker and carrier at the same time with the same MC number. But
no, that's not what that means. What that means is, I understand what you're asking now. So when you go to Safer and you're doing your vetting, like say you were on you were navigating the trucker's path truck search feature, and you looked up an MC number because you thought this may be a carrier that you want to call, and then you get the result that says entity type carrier/broker. What that means is that carrier is an asset under that broker authority. That's what that means. They are under that broker's authority.
Ah, Okay, I understand now. I understand. But the MC numbers
Right.
can be on the same company, but two different MC numbers, right?
The MC number, if you got one MC number under a brokerage and you're in Safer and you see it's the entity type says carrier/broker, my advice is to stay away from that because that is an asset-based brokerage. In other words, there are carriers who are running under that broker's authority, but who are registered and showing themselves as being available in the truck search feature of Truckers Path. So you come across and look at it and you say, well, let me call this carrier, or at least let me look them up. And then you discover that they are part of that brokerage because they may be an owner-operator leased on under that broker's authority. That's why I say it's good to stay away from them because as a dispatcher, you call brokers to book loads for your carrier. So if you call it a broker for a carrier who's part of a brokerage, that's where the double broker concept come in at.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I want to protect you as best as I can, and by telling you to literally avoid that scenario because it bit me more times than I can remember. So to help protect you guys, I just simply say when you go to, for example, when you go to Safer and you look up a company that you want to call potentially to try to get under a dispatcher agreement, and you see under entity type it says carrier/broker, do not call that one. Do not consider that one. Only look for the ones that just say carrier under the entity type because those are owner-operators, independent owner-operators. They're not under a broker authority or anything like that. So that's my advice for you to steer clear of the ones that says carrier/broker because you'll save yourself a whole lot of headache downstream. Now people still do it. People still do what's called double brokering. People still do what's called co-brokering. I'm not saying that is not completely out of the realm of possibility. I'm just saying don't go down that path. That's a bad road to go down. You can go down the road. You may be successful for a while, but at some point you're going to hit a roadblock that you may not understand how to get out of. So to best avoid that, don't even go down the road. That's just my advice. Now you're adults now, so you can do what you want. But I'm just saying, please. I'm trying to save you the headache. So now back to Felicia's quick transport solution navigation part. Felicia, you still with me? I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm still with you.
Okay, so under here, now this is free. I didn't log into anything, right? I just went to the website, right? So
right.
under resources, you can just search trucking companies. And then what state are you in, Felicia?
I'm in North Carolina.
Are you in where am I in North Carolina? You close to me.
I'm in the Queen City.
Are you in Charlotte? Oh Lord. Oh no, I used to stay in Charlotte. Off of Freedom and Tuckasegee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the west side. I'm over on 5 minutes from Carowinds. I'm on the south side.
Uh-oh. Okay, so North Carolina, we'll leave the companies blank, we'll leave the cities blank, and we want to find any city in North Carolina for trucking companies. We're going to select a number of trucks and a number of tractors for those trucks. So let's say 1 to 5, because new dispatchers, beginner dispatchers, let's say we can only handle up to 5 trucks right now because we're new dispatching. We wouldn't want to overwhelm ourselves, right? So, and then under operations, we'll say interstate. We don't want to do interest, so we do search, right? Yeah, I need to come back down there, man. Go to the Epic Center or something.
Yeah, COVID-19 got things shut down right now, so.
Oh Lord, that's right. I keep forgetting this new normal. My yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. We got page 1 of 7,000. Page 1 of 7 or 734 results. So you got 734 companies with trucks of 1 to 5 trucks. So you can scroll through, look at all these trucks, and then go to the next page, scroll down, and then go to the next page, so on and so forth, right? I just click page 2. So now what you do now, one truck, one driver, DOT, you can click the actual company and get more information about them. So for in each case that you click on the company, you get all the information about them, what they haul, produce, machinery, general freight, lumber. So let me give you a pop quiz here. Based off of what they haul, what are some possible equipment types that this trucking company may have? Can anyone answer that?
Yes, dry van, reefer, and flatbed.
reefer.
Yep, reefer or flatbed, dry van. Yeah, because you definitely got reefer, fresh produce. Machinery usually goes on flatbeds, and then general freight, on the dry van. So this person, even though they say one truck and trailer, they could be switching out trailers. They could have one tractor, but they could be switching out the trailer types in order to handle the commodities that they're hauling. So that's a good thing to know as a dispatcher, to understand your carrier, right? It makes you a better dispatcher, and in the long haul. So then you can scroll down, get more data about them, how many accidents, inspections. So in each case, every time you click on one, let's click out of this one, and just click on any one, you're going to get the same results for that particular company that you clicked on. So here's another free resource for you right here. This one, he hauls lumber, construction, building materials, and machinery. So that tells me only flatbed, I'm thinking. So there. Kobe says, so a truck driver without his authority can lease on under. Yeah, of course. Yes. You could. Kobe, they would be smart to do that. If you lease under a broker's authority as a lease on owner operator, that's what they're called. They're owner operators, but they're leased under a broker authority. That means that you're under a broker, so when brokers get their load, they come straight to you because you're already under their authority. You have the truck, so it's like a one-stop shop in that case. You can lease on under a trucking company, or you can lease on under brokers. So whichever authority you lease on under, you run under that authority, especially brokers. They got the shippers for the types of loads that haul on your particular trailer for that truck that you lease on under them for. So it makes the transition a little bit easier. Felicia said, how do we access this slide? This slide is accessible. This recording, if you are an enrolled subscription-based member, then this will be available to you under the, I don't think you're a member of this training platform, Felicia, but this one can be under the training videos for the subscription-based members based off of the month. We have a whole host of videos based off of the month. So it'll be under, what is this, July? And then this may be on the YouTube channel, this one. I'm deciding. But that's the ways to have it, Felicia. I think
Charles? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you. So what you're saying is that I have to pay the $99 for the dispatcher training?
Well, the dispatcher, the seminar is $99 to enroll into the platform. The ongoing training platform is a different price point. That's to enroll, and then the videos are in part of that enrollment. Now, this video may be on the YouTube channel for you to view. you just want to watch the video, I'm assuming you don't want to enroll and get ongoing training and tools and resources, ebooks and other that stuff. You're just trying to go back and look at this video. That's if I'm assuming correctly.
Okay, so let me ask you, well, I'm not really sure, because see, based on the Facebook, when I was in that group, and that's how I found out about this current training. Right now, the $99, what does that cover?
I was giving one-off seminars for those people who are not members of the ongoing training platform, the 2 to 3 hour seminar trainings, and they were at different points in time. Where I would go over how to get carriers, navigate load board. This right here, what you're looking at now, that was, like I had it 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, I believe it was, from 12 to 3. And I was going to start implementing that in the Facebook group for those people who are in the Facebook group but who are not enrolled members of the actual ongoing $299 training, where you get even more. So the $99 one was the ones for those who are not enrolled members but who are considering enrolling. So after the $99 seminar, if you wanted to join the $299 one, that $99 would have been rolled into the $299 one and would have been taken off from that total price. But this is for those who are not members, and you get a lot of the same training, but the only thing you don't get access to the low. Now, you get everything here. I'll give you 3 ebooks, all the other materials, the training materials that you need to help get you started for the $99. But I haven't given another seminar. I'm going to give another seminar probably not this Saturday, but maybe next Saturday. I'm going to announce that. But the seminar is for non-platform members who are expressing interest, who are in the Facebook group expressing interest in at least considering joining the ongoing training, the $299. The seminar would kind of help push you in deciding if, after the seminar, whether or not you want to join. That was the whole purpose of the seminar, for non-members who are like on the fence trying to decide.
Oh, I see. Okay. So all of the basic seminar training for $99 is definitely could be beneficial if you're just trying to get started in the business, correct?
Correct, because and you can use it as a springboard into the regular training, because again, it's for those who join the seminar, it can be rolled over into the ongoing, and you can get access. You get the shared load board logins, you get training on how to navigate everything, book loads. You can either be a potential sub-dispatcher under Exodus. There's so many other things that you can take advantage of by being an enrolled member, but the $99 one can definitely help. You can actually go take the $99 one and just get information out there and say, okay, I think that's enough for me. Let me go ahead and see what I can do with this. I mean, that's certainly an option, of course.
Okay.
But I haven't announced the next seminar. It's probably going to be not this Saturday, because I'll be in Ohio, but it's probably going to be the next Saturday, and I'll put that advertisement in the Facebook groups for those who are non-members who are interested in dispatching, who is a part of this group and want to get a little bit more information of what we do before deciding to join. Consider this, as an option kind of thing,
Hey, Charles.
Yes.
Hey, just a quick question. Do you recommend starting off with the DAT Pro or the DAT Power? Like
DAT Power. DAT Power is a broker level load board. DAT Pro, I think it's a little bit less expensive than. Matter of fact, let's look it up real quick. So DAT Power, and then you got DAT Pro. So DAT Power is what I'm trying to see some of the features. But DAT Power, okay, this is an old login from one of the brokerages I was working with. DAT Pro is DAT Power is a broker level login where it allows you to do broker type features. Like as a broker, you can search loads and search trucks, post loads and post trucks. DAT Pro is kind of like an advanced carrier level login. So Mo said, you said neither one of you just started. 123 load board is a good starter one. Now if you are hung up on that Trucker's Edge, which is the carrier level login, is a good starting point if you are hung up on the DAT family of load boards, which is what we have on this platform. Just that Trucker's Edge, which is the carrier level login. The only features that carriers need, and you as dispatchers need, since you're working with the carriers, is the ability to search for loads and the ability to post your truck, which is right here. These two features. That's why there's only two, because it's a carrier level login. Now post trucks and search loads, because that's all the carriers need to do. Carriers don't need to post loads because carriers are not brokers. Carriers don't need to search for other trucks because, again, carriers are not brokers. So the only features of a load board from a carrier's perspective that they need to have is the ability to post their truck as being empty and available so brokers can see it and give them a call and try to book a load, or for them to search for loads themselves so they can book the loads with the brokers. So if you are hung up with the DAT family of load boards, then as a starter, dispatcher, I would say that Trucker's Edge would be a good place to start for you.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking, I was told, I don't know how true it is, but depending on the level that you get, whether it's Trucker's Edge, Pro, or Power, it can lag in like times of posting. Like you may check on a load in Trucker's Edge and it's already off the board, but if you had Power or Pro, it's more real time or something like that. But
that in some cases it's a lie, in other cases it's not. It's more of a marketing ploy to get you.
That is a lot of broke. The guy who was trying to sell him the package told him that nonsense. He was lying.
Right. So it's more of a marketing ploy to get you to purchase the more advanced one, so you can pay more, so they can get paid a bigger commission. All the load boards are essentially the same across all load boards: Platinum, 123, Internet Truck Stop, DAT. Those loads are posted. They're there. Now, the only lag that you're going to see is in the time that it takes for a broker to take a load down after it's booked. So when you call in a broker on a load that you don't know has already been booked and it's still up there, that could be a lag. But as far as real time and all that stuff, it's pretty much the same across the board. Now, and I'm saying that from experience.
Okay.
So, but you'll get the same if you notice. And I think next training, not this Sunday, but the next Wednesday, because I'll be out of town. But we'll go over it. I can log into each load board. We'll look at the same loads. You'll see the same times, the same number of times, how many hours it's been on the load board. You'll say, well, dang, Trucker's Edge is doing it. 123 load board is doing it. DAT is doing it. Internet Truck Stop is doing it. So they're all the same loads, posted by the same broker. They put those loads on the different load boards because they want to increase their chances of getting a call from a carrier in order to book that load. That's the strategies from a broker's perspective that you will see.
Okay.
So and in this training platform's purpose is to give you a basic foundational understanding from a beginner's perspective, and then you can scale your business from that point. But once you master the basics, that's all an expert is. Someone who's mastered the basics, right? So once you master the basics, you can decide where you want to go with your business as far as scaling, getting more trucks to dispatch for and things like that. But the purpose of this platform is kind of holding your hand on the basic levels until you feel comfortable in understanding the lingo from the carrier's perspective on how to talk to them and what to say, from the broker's perspective on how to talk to them and dialogue with them and get that load booked, things like that, how to do the administrative stuff. So it's a very basic foundational learning tool that I'm trying to show you guys. So, and let's see. I think. Okay. Yes. That's. Any more questions? I think that's about it. I hope I.
I have one.
Yes, ma'am. Who am I speaking with?
Jacqueline.
Oh, Richmond. What's up, BA?
Yes, I finally got internet. The stupid storm had me out all day. But I've been cold calling for the past couple of days, and people haven't given me replied with the dispatcher agreement. So I'm not sure what I'm not doing right, but I would think if I've sent a good 6 to 7 out, that at least one would bite.
Okay, I tell you what, next Wednesday, if you are in the training, like Wednesday night, let's do a role play, and I will kind of critique and see what you're doing and see what we can tighten up on to get those carriers to bite. What's the jargon that you're saying? And because I was a former carrier, we have people who are in the training who are currently carriers, and we can kind of feel, BS, you know what I'm saying, from the carrier's perspective. So to put you onto the learning curve, it's better for you to role play and do a mock call to someone who's been a real carrier, so we can give you a perspective from a carrier. So that way, when you call carriers, you'll have a better advantage.
Okay.
You good with that?
I guess. I want it now.
And
patience. I'm learning patience. We ask for patience, we pray for it, and he gives us opportunity. So, yes.
Marcella said, my other question is that you wanted me to contact Abel. You're speaking about, I tried to reach out to Ray. I haven't heard back from him yet. Marcelo Ray Rosales, the Hispanic broker. I would definitely keep reminding me, texting me. You'll be amazed with all the stuff I got going on. But, yeah, just keep reminding me, please. I will reach out to Ray and let him know that I have a student who is Latino who wants to expand his understanding in this industry. And you can connect with Ray and see where that goes, too. Okay? So just keep reminding me. I have not forgotten. You ever notice when people say I have not forgotten, they actually literally forgot? So, all right, guys. Any more questions? And remind me, Jocelyn, on next Wednesday, it's our next training. So,
I will.
No training this Sunday, right?
I think this Sunday he'll be in Ohio, right?
I think so. Charles, you there?
Yo, he probably lost power. He got a boom boom setup over there.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. The screen went black.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm losing power. But let them know no training this Sunday, Mike.
Okay.
Got you.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Yep. Be safe.
All right. Thanks, Charles.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Charles. I appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime. You guys got my cell number too, so.
What's your cell number? No training on Sunday. Okay. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not.